Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Wednesday, December 10th. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A California driver who struck and killed a Leavenworth motorcyclist south of Coles Corner was found guilty Monday of vehicular homicide by a jury in Chelan County Superior Court. The North Central Education Foundation Board welcomed new representation for Grant and Okanagan counties this year. Heavy mountain rain and rapid snowmelt have prompted a flood warning for the Wenatchee, Stehekin, and Entiat rivers through Friday morning. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. And that's where we begin tonight, as emergency management officials are warning of floods and disruptions as rain continues to fall and river levels rise around the state. The Stehekin, Entiat, and Wenatchee rivers are among 26 Washington rivers that could reach flood stage on Thursday, thanks to heavy precipitation from an ongoing atmospheric river event. Governor Bob Ferguson today declared a state of emergency to prepare for high water.
We are, as you might imagine, in regular contact with local governments, tribal governments, and the federal government. I just finished a call, for example, with the National Weather Service. We've been in communication with FEMA Region 10 and the Army Corps of Engineers. At 2 p.m., I have a call with FEMA Region 10 to request an expedited emergency declaration from the federal government. We need the federal government to grant that request. This is critical. If granted, that emergency allows us to access life, safety, and emergency protective measures and additional federal resources, which will be key for us to address the extremely challenging situation that Washingtonians are facing right now.
This afternoon, U.S. Highway 2 at Stevens Pass was forced to close due to mud and debris cascading across the roadway. The closure was in effect from Coles Corner all the way to milepost 57 on the west slope, with no predicted reopening time. Rivers are expected to crest tomorrow, with the Wenatchee River at Peshastin overshooting its 15-foot flood stage. The Entiat River at Ardenvar could close in on flood levels with a predicted high of 7.6 feet. Even on land, authorities are warning of water hazards. The Chelan County Emergency Management Office says burn scars left by wildfires pose a particular risk for landslides and mud flows. They remind motorists not to drive into standing water and to be alert for debris and fallen trees. The flood warnings are set to remain in effect into Saturday morning. We'll have more details for you on this damaging rainfall in our weather outlook later on this half hour. A California driver who struck and killed a Leavenworth motorcyclist south of Coles Corner was found guilty Monday of vehicular homicide by a jury in Chelan County Superior Court after a 5-day trial. Our media partner, the Wenatchee World, reports the sentencing hearing for Flim Anthony Guyan of San Jose is scheduled for January 13th. His attorney, Brandon Riedel, said he would most definitely be appealing the case to the Washington Court of Appeals, saying there were irregularities during the jury deliberations, as well as concerns with evidence that was allowed into the trial by Chelan County Judge Travis Brandt. Guyan was arrested the night of August 24, 2022. He'd been traveling west in the eastbound lane of Highway 2 trying to pass traffic when his car struck a motorcycle driven by 40-year-old Shane R. Walsh head-on. When sentenced, Guyan could face 6.5 to 8.5 years in prison. The Cascade School District's Athletic Booster Club is raising money to support a bus driver injured in a fatal accident while transporting Cascade High School wrestlers to a tournament. The accident occurred early Saturday morning after a 2003 Ford Ranger skidded across the center line on Highway 97A near Downey Canyon, 4 miles south of Chelan, and struck the bus, which was driven by 39-year-old Jose Solis of Wenatchee. The driver of the Ranger, 32-year-old Marco Trejo, was taken by helicopter to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. His passenger, who was identified by the Washington State Patrol as 63-year-old Mark Cowles of Entiat died in the crash. Solis was treated for his injuries at Lake Chelan Health, and the fundraiser asked for donations to help pay for his meals and out-of-pocket expenses. You can donate to the effort using the QR code you see on your screen. The cause of the crash is under investigation. The Port of Chelan County is proposing to share revenue from its planned Malaga Tax Increment Finance District in order to soothe fears of lost revenue among junior taxing districts. The Chelan-Douglas Port Authority wants to designate a 3,300-acre area as a TIF district where future increases in property tax revenue would be captured to pay for specific public infrastructure improvements inside that area. But tax-funded entities, including the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department and Chelan County itself, have balked at the possibility of lost tax income. Port commissioners on Tuesday asked CEO Jim Kuntz to negotiate a 50-50 split with those entities on some TIF revenues collected once the district is established. The Chelan County Port commissioners were due to vote on creating the district this week, but they've delayed that vote until December 23rd. When we come back, it took a combination of resources to recover the body of an Entiat man missing since December 2nd. And we will take you on a walk across the George Seller Bridge with Governor Bob Ferguson. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Order ready for Susan?
During the holiday rush, those might be the best words you can hear all week. At Abby's, you get a night off from cooking, a place to gather with family, and easy holiday catering that everybody loves. For legendary pizza and hospitality, visit Abby's.com. Aloha and Melikaliki Maka from Abby's. End your year with a tropical twist. Our big Hawaiian pizza at a legendary holiday price. Plus, earn $5, $10, $20 or more in free pizza with our holiday gift card offer. Abby's, a legendary holiday pizza tradition.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
It took a combination of resources to recover the body of an Entiat man missing since December 2nd. 24-year-old Justin Lassiter was found Monday inside his SUV, submerged in the Columbia River alongside Highway 97A. Sergeant Jason Reinfeld with the Chelan County Emergency Management says Lassiter was seen driving December 2nd, driving north toward his hometown from Wenatchee, and the search began the next day after he failed to report for work or contact his family. Searches along the highway and in the Swakane and Entiat River valleys turned up nothing. On Monday, the weather cleared enough for a Chelan County Sheriff's helicopter to scan the Columbia from overhead. Reinfeld says that's how the outline of Lassiter's sunken white Nissan Pathfinder was spotted. Divers and recovery workers found his body belted into the driver's seat. The cause of his fatal crash remains under investigation by the Washington State Patrol. Back in September, we spoke with Governor Bob Ferguson during his visit to Wenatchee, where he spoke to a convention of the Washington Building and Construction's Trades Council. While he was in town, Ferguson took a windy tour of the George Seller Bridge with Dan Lewis, assisting regional administrator for the state DOT. In the video just posted to social media this week, Ferguson and Lewis emphasized the governor's hope to invest in preserving transportation infrastructure when the state legislature begins debating its budget priorities starting in January. You can view the full video on the governor's Facebook or Instagram page. The North Central Education Foundation Board welcomed a new representation for Grant and Okanagan counties this year. Christopher Nelson joined the board in March and brings with him financial expertise from his career in commercial banking. Tom Venable, who previously worked as the Methow Valley School District Superintendent for 12 years, joined the board in August. Venable currently serves as the director of the Methow Housing Trust after a 30-year career in education, which includes as an elementary teacher, principal, and deputy superintendent of Bellingham Public Schools. The foundation was created in 2008 and distributes yearly teacher classroom grants to fund different activities in areas like the arts, STEM, and environmental education, and more. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, we will tell you how imitating beaver dams has led to an almost complete restoration of Triple Creek. That's a troubled stream bed near Chesaw. A flood warning is in effect until Friday morning for many area rivers and streams. I'll have all your weather details coming up, followed by Eric Granstrom with a look at all the day's sports action as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority. Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no-cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
In 2023, we told you about beaver dam analogs, a humid method of changing stream flows by imitating the structures put in place by beavers. Okanogan County was the first in Washington to adopt this practice, and after 10 years, it's led to an almost complete restoration of Triple Creek, a troubled stream bed near Chesaw. In tonight's feature story, the Okanogan Highlands Alliance led that project and documented it in tonight's video feature.
We know that beavers have been maintaining wetlands and floodplains for millions of years.
Beavers are incredible for their industriousness and for their understanding of hydrology. This place, we call it Triple Creek, has a lot of ecological importance. And so we want to see this wetland be as healthy as it can.
I think beavers are the key to restoring the ecosystem functions of Triple Creek. We are at the Triple Creek Wetland Restoration Project. In 1998, there was a big flood event that basically caused Myers Creek to cut through the floodplain.
There was clear cutting in the upper part of the watershed, and then this big flood came down and the water just rushed through and it drained the wetland. The willow trees that used to thrive here, they died. And then the organisms that depended on them aren't here anymore. The invasive reed canary grass came in and populated the whole area that used to be a pond and is now a meadow and doesn't really allow anything else to grow.
What remained here was a non-functioning wetland.
But the people that take care of this land, that own this land, they see themselves as stewards of the land, and they invited OHA to work on their land.
Triple Creek project began in 2016 and has been this amazing collaboration of agencies and organizations and community members that have worked together to begin to restore this project.
The goal of this work is to restore a healthy ecosystem.
In order to do that, we are planting different plants in different locations, planting a diversity of native species, providing beavers with access to willow, red osier dogwood, and a whole variety of species. So this ecosystem can support as many species as possible. But we also want to help the creek bed to rise closer to the floodplain. We have added complexity to the system. So these are BDAs. A beaver dam analog is a human-constructed coastline that mimics a beaver dam and has some of the same functions as a beaver dam, and we call them BDAs. There's 46 BDAs that have been installed.
This was one of the first projects in Washington State to implement these kinds of techniques on tributary streams in central Washington.
At the beginning of this project, a lot of sediment came in from upstream. The BDAs made a huge difference that first year in trapping sediment that was flowing.
The second thing that the BDAs do is that they slow the water down. And so as the water slows down, that sediment drops out of the water onto the bottom of the creek, and that helps build up the level of the stream bed. And that's another place where it's newly connecting. And over there.
Yeah, that's an exciting spot.
Yeah.
It's high enough that the water is flooding onto the left bank over there, and I think this is the first year that we've seen that.
And it's that water table being near the bank of the stream that allows the creek to jump out and wet the ground during the spring flows, providing the riparian vegetation that will shade that stream and help keep it cooler. This project has a huge water quality benefit.
Water is really important all throughout the West, and one of the big goals of this project is to store and filter water so that downstream people and wildlife and plants have a source of clean, plentiful water all year long.
Oh, there it is.
Is this the one?
Whoa, no, they just cut this down.
Oh my gosh.
The most exciting thing that's happened in the last week is that we've got beavers on site.
It's so exciting. It's so unbelievable. This is the whole goal, is to make it so that beavers have enough food and habitat to take up residence and start managing the wetlands.
We now have help. You can see where the beavers have come in, and some of the willows that we've planted that have reached maturity, they're picking the best pieces that they like to use, and they've stuck those into the structure, and they are using their artful expertise to make that structure function better.
That's the one that the beavers are working on. They see it as a place where the water can get spread out, and we're not that good at beaver dam making compared to a beaver, right? So I think they're well, this is the furthest along.
Seeing beavers come back and working on our project area is really thrilling.
Because this project was the first of its kind in this area, organizations and agencies have both come here and learned and have then implemented their own BDA projects elsewhere in the area. You're seeing your stream bed come up. You're seeing new places where native plants have either naturalized or are expanding. You're seeing more birds. You're seeing more wildlife. We're seeing beaver now. We've got otters here. We've got amazing diversity of wildlife, and we're just at the beginning.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office and Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast, and I hope you had a great Wednesday. Boy, interesting weather all across Chelan County throughout the day today. That will continue into tonight and tomorrow. I'll tell you what, we've seen a very unusually strong atmospheric river, and it is pointed right at North Central Washington. Look at this dramatic time-lapse video of how that atmospheric river continues to roll into North Central Washington. This is our Tumwater Canyon looking down at Leavenworth, and you can see rain showers off and on and windy conditions, which is usually accompanies, I should say, atmospheric rivers. And this is an unusually strong one for this time of year, late in December. This was the current situation, or I should say later in the afternoon, where things really calmed down. Even a little bit of blue sky up there this afternoon, but still mountain rain showers are continuing, and that is leading to these flood concerns. We have a flood warning in place for us in Chelan County for tonight through tomorrow and into at least Friday afternoon. And what we're really keeping our eye on is the Wenatchee River at Peshastin, currently at about 9.5 feet. 12 feet is bank full for the Wenatchee River at Peshastin, and 13 feet is at flood stage. And this is where the river is predicted to be by tomorrow at 15.62 feet, and that will be flooding 3 feet over flood stage. So watch out around the Peshastin area. That will also flood some lowland areas between Cashmere, I should say Leavenworth and Wenatchee. So we are watching this very, very closely. And I'll tell you what, we haven't seen levels like this since back in 2006. Another thing that we're kind of keeping our eye on tonight and once again into Thursday, and that's those gusty winds, 20 to 35 miles an hour, gusting up to 55 miles an hour, and that includes the Columbia Basin, Moses Lake, 30 to 35 mile an hour wind. Over in the Wilbur area, 35 to 40. Don't expect a lot of wind here in Wenatchee. I don't think we'll even see 15 to 20, but certainly to our east and up for you folks in the Waterville Plateau, it's going to be awfully breezy tonight. So boy, a lot going on today. 48 our unofficial high temperature today, and that's 14 degrees above where we should be for a normal high. 34 is our normal. Same goes for our low. 39 this morning, 14 degrees above our normal low of 25. 51 our record high temperature. I thought we'd break that today, but we just didn't get as warm as the Weather Service thought we would. That 51 will stand, and it was set in 1967. Our record low, 2 degrees. That's set in 2009. And look at this hefty rain total for the Wenatchee area. Folks, 0.43 inches. That's a big rain for us here in Wenatchee. That now gets us to 5.87 inches for the year. And that means we're just now a little bit over an inch behind where we should be for this time of year. So that's good news. Sunrise 7:37 and sunset this afternoon at 4:10. Taking a look at your Thursday temperatures, things will remain on the mild side. 57 for Moses Lake and Ephrata tomorrow, 56 in Quincy. We'll see about 54 here in the Wenatchee area for our high tomorrow afternoon, 52 in Chelan, and 53 the high temperature tomorrow in Cashmere. Taking a look at tonight, cloudy skies, couple areas of low pressure are moving to the east, but all kinds of wind along the Cascades and in the Spokane area. It will continue to also drag some showers through the state. We'll have about a 40% chance of rain tonight. Going to stay mild with lows, can you believe it, in the mid-40s. For Thursday, cloudy skies, about a 40% chance of rain. Boy, very scattered for our Thursday. We will stay on the warm side, 20 degrees above where we should be. High temperatures in the mid-50s. For your Friday, dual high pressure areas will stabilize our weather as we get into the end of the week. We're going to still see a few clouds Friday afternoon, but temperatures, no complaints with highs in the mid-50s. And then as we get you into the upcoming weekend for Saturday, yeah, we are going to see a sunny day. And won't it be nice to kick off our weekend? Our temperatures will remain on the mild side with high temperatures in the low 50s on Saturday. Getting you into Sunday, I think it's going to be nice for the most part. High pressure ridge over the Pacific Pacific Northwest, but look at what's coming our way past Sunday, so we will see increasing clouds from that next weather system. High temperatures Sunday afternoon, still on the nice side in the low 50s. And then Monday, here it comes. We could see a little bit of wind with it, an 80% chance of rain on Monday. A cold front will move through as well, and you can see almost all of the state picking up some sort of precipitation on Monday. Still mild though, so high temperatures will be right around 50 degrees. And then by the end of our forecast on Tuesday, cloudy sky, still a very strong southwesterly flow into Washington. High temperatures at the end of our forecast, still just unbelievably warm into the low 50s. All right, 7-day forecast now, and it's brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Tonight's overnight low way above our normal high for this time of year. 46 overnight tonight, about a 40% chance of leftover rain showers tomorrow, and 54. And then a dry period from Friday through Saturday into Sunday. High temperatures in that period, low 50s to about 54 for Friday. And then back to the rainy weather for both Monday and Tuesday. Mild though, with high temperatures right around 50. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
For the second time in 3 years, Eastmont High School will be searching for a new head football coach. Jay Foster was hired 2 years ago to replace the departing Michael Dawn to lead the Eastmont football program. Word came out over the weekend that Foster would be stepping down. Eastmont football Facebook page included a thank you from the coaching staff and a word to returning players that the offseason is theirs to master until a new coach is found. Now, speaking with Eastmont Athletic Director Russ Waterman Tuesday, he said that, he's just now posting the position and would have more to add next week. Waterman says he's heading to a national conference this week and will have to get a clearer picture of next steps upon his return. Foster was an assistant under Don for 7 seasons before taking over as head coach in 2024. Eastmont was 11-8 under his 2 seasons as head coach, being eliminated in the first round of the playoffs each year. While Eastmont is searching for a new football coach, Wenatchee has announced a new golf coach. After serving 2 seasons as an assistant coach, Frank Brandt will take over the head coaching duties at WHS. Besides golf, Brandt has been a business and marketing teacher at the high school, currently teaching at Westside High School while leading the mock debate team. Well, Eastmont and Wenatchee's girls bowling teams posted league wins yesterday. Came down to a pin count to determine the winner at Eastmont Lanes yesterday after Wenatchee and Sela split 2 games and 2 bakers. Panthers would wind up with a victory by 60 pins. Eastmont traveled to Minda Lanes in Yakima and came away with a 3-1 win over Davis. Now, despite some rough scores, Wildcats remain undefeated on the season with the victory yesterday. Well, Eastmont coach Joel Barnes knew the Wildcats would be in tough against the challenge with Ellensburg coming to Eastmont High School last night. Bulldogs showed why they finished 27-1 a season ago with tough defense. They held the Wildcats to just 19 points in the contest, and it would be a 62-19 final score after a free throw here. There it is. That was the final last night. Tough night for the Eastmont Lady Cats. Other scores, Moses Lake held off Hanford 51-41. Brereton beat Brewster 56-47. Tonasket topped Kettle Falls 45-36. Pateros popped Lake Roosevelt 57-36. Entiat beat Bridgeport 47-28. Okanagan got by Liberty Bell 45-35. Manson mauled Highland 50-21. It was Curlew over Oroville 49-27. On the boys' court last night, Moses Lake topped Ellensburg 76-57. Reardon beat Brewster 66-46. Kettle Falls topped Tonasket 61-47. Bridgeport beat Entiat 66-49. Liberty Bell down Okanagan 61-48. Manson edged Highland 45-44. Moses Lake Christian had no trouble with Oakdale, winning 76-27. Cascade Christian clobbered Pateros 73-31. After 3 wins in their inaugural season last year, Garden City Academy already has 2 wins and 3 tries this season after a 68-47 win over Soap Lake last night. Oroville beat Curlew 59-27. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
And that will do it for this Wednesday edition of the NCW Life Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.